If you've ever considered becoming a foster parent, now is your chance to learn more. Join the movement to prevent elder abuse, neglect, and exploitation. And 14 Norfolk men take their role as fathers to a higher level. The forum begins now. With close to 300 children in Norfolk's foster care system, ensuring that these children can be placed in a loving, safe, temporary home is a top priority. If you've ever thought of becoming a foster parent, now's the time. I asked Erica Phillips and Kathleen Baltodano to share their perspectives about this important job. Erica is a family services worker who helps recruit foster families, and Kat is a Norfolk foster parent. So couldn't think of two more perfect people to share information about this experience and what is a very challenging role and job, but can be very rewarding as well. Would you say so, Kat?
Yes, very much so.
Yeah. Now, you've been a foster parent for how long?
2 years.
2 years. And in 2 years, you've had a chance to get some experience working with children. Do you work with children of a specific age group?
Yes, from birth to 4.
Okay, so the young ones that run through 4 years old, and they, like any children, can be a handful.
Yes, they can.
Do you have children as well in your family?
I do. I have 2 teenagers, a boy and a girl.
Wow, wow, you really do have your hands full, but that's still, it's great that you've shown an interest in it. And Erica, I know that for you, it's great to have somebody like Kat contribute to what is an ongoing process for you.
Absolutely.
Which is trying to find people that really are willing to do this, because it requires more than just loving kids.
Yes.
Yeah. So what is it that the foster parent would need to consider, or somebody who wants to be a foster parent need to consider?
Those interested in fostering definitely have to take a look at first their overall schedule and what they can offer to a child, because we definitely are trying to find families for children and not children for families.
It's a big difference between that.
Definitely, absolutely. We offer pre-service training for our families, and what we do is come from an angle of a mutual family assessment, and we base this off of our PRIDE curriculum. And so what we like to do is make sure that when we're working with the families during our pre-service training is that both the agency and the family are involved on a mutual basis in making this decision on if this is the right process for them. So with that PRIDE curriculum, we want to make sure that the families are dedicated in protecting and nurturing the children, working as a team player, addressing the children's needs and developmental delays. And so families like Mr. and Mrs. Baltodano, who are not only willing to open up their homes but dedicate themselves to attending training and, you know, just furthering themselves to meet the children's needs. So
you don't just jump in there and become a foster parent. It requires preparation. And I imagine also preparation for the child, because the child that is brought into a home has been through probably a not too good situation or event. And maybe have experienced quite a bit of trauma, part of that trauma being just adjusting to being in a new place and not in the environment from which they came. What prompted you to get into foster parenting and opening your home?
We're a homeschooling family, so as Christians we do everything, we strive to do everything possible to glorify Jesus Christ. So we felt that He laid it on our hearts to offer our home to foster children. But it took about a year of praying and preparing before we ever even contacted an agency.
Wow.
Just, you know, for our teenagers' sake and for our own sakes, you know, we really wanted to make sure that we were prepared to do such a step, because it's hard to be with these children and to nurture them and then have to give them back. So we needed to make sure that that was something that we could do. But once we decided, then we contacted Norfolk, and it takes a long time. The training takes, you know, 6 to 8 weeks? And then, you know, you have home studies and all of these things. So it's a huge commitment, and it's something that you have to be very responsible about and make sure that it's something that you're willing to make a very long commitment to.
Right.
And we felt that we could do that.
Well, certainly the children that you bring into the home or who are placed with you are going to, when they do leave, or if they do leave, you want to make sure that they're taking something with them that is going to help them move forward. And that is a huge responsibility.
It is.
It is. Well, you've thought very long and hard about it, which is good, because often when people think about children, that it comes from an emotional place, which is not bad, but it's got to be much more than that, and it can't be impulsive.
Right.
So I think part of your job is being able to assess whether or not someone is a good candidate for this by their sense of commitment and
Yes.
their maybe lack of impulsiveness, but that's not necessarily their key personality trait.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, children are available in all ages to be placed in homes, and this happens daily. You have children in and out of foster care, sometimes return to their families, which is what you would say is the priority.
Yes, all children who are in foster care, the main goal is to return to a relative placement. Families that come to Norfolk, we do approve them. What we do is a dual approve, where they can foster to adopt. But the main goal is that we want to work to return children back to their birth families. We have we want to do dual, make all reasonable efforts to return them back to the birth families or to a relative placement. Once those efforts have tried to be achieved and we aren't able to do that, then we'll start looking for permanence for these children. So we want to make sure that we'll try to put them in permanent placement. So then there comes the opportunity that the foster families are able to adopt the children if they desire. So that's how we kind of work that out. So the families do have the opportunity to do that as well. So when we're doing our training and the home study process with the families, we're making those assessments and judgments too. So we don't have, we have children that are in foster care from ages 0 all the way up to 21. We provide independent living services for our teens that are in foster care, and we just want to provide any kind of support and stability so that they can, be productive citizens as well.
Okay, 21 years old. That seems like at one point in time that used to be, well, you're already an adult, but for some of these kids, 21 is a very different place than a kid that's been in a stable environment most of his or her life. So the teenagers that you take in would be quite a different. You'd have a different approach, I would imagine. Although they're all still kids, aren't they?
Right.
So that's one thing that really never changes. So you had a choice as to what age group you would be best serving. Okay, and as far as training for or certifying for being a foster parent or to foster and adopt, that's an option too. Some people don't know that they'd be ready or willing to keep a child permanently, but they do. What is appealing is being able to take care of somebody for a while.
Right.
Would you say that the majority of people that apply or become foster parents prefer temporary placement, or do they tend to be those who are hoping to adopt a child?
We actually have a strong mixture of both. We have families that come in that have the desire just to assist children and just foster and help with the goal of returning them back to their families. And we have a strong push for co-parenting. We encourage our foster families to have a relationship when deemed safe and appropriate with the birth families. So we don't forget about the birth families as well. Although we focus on the best interests of the child, but it also includes developing a relationship with the birth family too, because while the foster parents are doing all the great work they're doing with the children, we want to make sure that the families are prepared to pick up where the foster family left off and are able to continue parenting their child as well. So we encourage those relationships there too. And then we have those families that come in that are also on board with that same goal, but in the event that that doesn't work out, they do develop, you can't help but form attachments and relationships with these children. As Mrs. Baltazano said, you love on them, they become a part of your family, and when the opportunity comes, then definitely they want to have the opportunity to be able to adopt a child as well.
Great.
So, and once they're in their home for a certain time period, then foster parents do have the opportunity to start having legal rights to be able to be eligible to adopt them. So.
Okay. It's a long process, it's complex, but it is possible, and we've put numbers up on the screen for you to call. You can also check online for more information, and I want to thank Kat, thanks so much for taking a moment out of your very busy day, I'm sure, to share your perspective on being a foster parent. And that we hope that that will inspire some other people to check into this. And thank you, Erica, too, for your insight and just the valuable information that you've shared today.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. When we come back, find out how you can help improve the safety and quality of life for the elderly in your community.
Mom, can we get some ice cream? Please, Mom, please.
No, we're having dinner soon.
Please.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
In fiscal year 2013, Virginia Adult Protective Services received more than 20,000 reports of adult abuse, neglect, or exploitation. More than 9,000 of these reports were substantiated. However, research indicates that for every elder abuse case reported to authorities, nearly 24 cases go unreported. Ben Waterton is a family services worker in Adult Protective Services, and he's joining us to share more on a disturbing trend among our older adults. These numbers are not uplifting, and the reporting of adult abuse or suspected adult abuse, neglect and exploitation is going up, but we could probably attribute that to more people knowing to do it, to report it, but there may be more occurring.
Sure, absolutely. There's lots of things that people can do to take measures to prevent it. Visit your loved ones, your friends. There's verbal abuse and nonverbal abuse. Individuals need to look for the signs of those. Verbal abuse is obvious. Nonverbal abuse can be made up of isolating the person or not giving them their medications. Okay, talk to the individual's doctor. There could be measures of financial exploitation taken if you see bank accounts emptying. Okay, that's a big red flag. So keep in touch and develop a relationship with your bank manager. Lastly, call Adult Protective Services. This is what we do. We're here for the elderly population.
Okay, and we'll be putting a number up on the screen on occasion with a hotline number, and that number is local. We also have a toll-free number that would be one you can call on weekends, evenings, holidays, anytime after 5. And there it is, 664-6123 or 1-888-832-3858. That is toll-free. And when you call, it's because you're concerned. It may be somebody that you know. It may be somebody who's a neighbor. something that makes you feel something isn't quite right, and it's okay to call. I think
Absolutely.
that's part of the problem is if people are hesitant to call because they feel like maybe they're wrong. Well, that's you've got a sense that something isn't right.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with making a call. The important thing is to take action and get the information out there to us. You can make a request to be anonymous if you wish, but by all means make the call, and please try to provide as much information as possible.
Right, and we also have a breakdown of when you call, what kind of information to provide, because just telling somebody that you have a sneaking suspicion that the lady next door is, having some issues is not going to be too helpful. So you have to be more specific. So some of those specifics would be perhaps the address of the person.
Sure. Obviously, the name of the individual you're calling about, address, any other personal information that can help us identify them, name of other individuals involved, client, doctor information, just anything and everything that could be pertinent to what's going on.
Okay, good. There's something for people to actually look at, and then our staff screens these calls and assesses from that point forward
Absolutely.
how to follow up.
Yes. We'll take the information. If the criteria meets that of an investigation, then an investigator will be assigned and we will proceed.
Okay, all right. And that can get very complex, but behind the scenes there's a lot of hard work going on as well. But hesitating to call because you think, what if I'm wrong? It's better to call
Absolutely.
than to let it go.
100%.
Right. And some of those things you won't be able to see outright either. And there are ways to also assess and help people that can't really speak for themselves because you are their voice.
You never know what's going on behind closed doors. That's why for Adult Protective Services to get in there and to speak at length with someone who may be being abused, that's our opportunity to have a look at what's going on and determine what that is. And if there is something going on, then we can definitely take measures to put an end to it.
Okay. The Department of Human Services itself and most departments across the country are observing in May what is called Elder Abuse Prevention Month, and an awareness campaign for the public to be more cognizant of things that might be happening that aren't quite right in your face and evident, but also how they might be able to take action to assist. You mentioned a little earlier about just even checking on somebody or making sure that somebody's all right, a neighbor who may be elderly and living by themselves, and just checking in to say hi. Those little things can make a difference, but also just being able to show your support in the community and spread the word among others that this is a problem. It exists, and it's not going away. And in fact, it's growing as
Absolutely.
we have older people living longer.
We would like to raise awareness of that. Now is the time. We've done a couple of things within the agency to help with that. We've distributed the purple ribbons.
Yes, we're both wearing purple ribbons.
And we're also sponsoring a food drive so we can continue to help our elderly community residents who may be indigent, who need a little bit of extra help. One can also check the National Elder Abuse Center website for other information. Earlier I mentioned things that people in the community can do, calling, checking, visiting, calling your doctor, checking the bank, even with result to caregivers. There's a lot of people who provide a lot of care. These people need a break, okay, because they may be working, they may be hiring someone part-time to help look after their loved one. It could be very stressful, and I've talked to a lot of people in the community about this. help your neighbor, give them a break. They obviously need some time for themselves as well.
Yeah, just to even go out and take a walk, if nothing else.
Sure.
Yeah. And speaking of caregiving, we can just quickly take a look at the whole idea of adult foster care, because Norfolk has an adult foster care program that provides a home environment for folks who may qualify and wish to have that in some cases.
Sure.
So we are looking for providers.
Yes, we're always looking for providers. We have sponsored several homes throughout the city of Norfolk, and we actually have 2 in Chesapeake. We offer that as an alternative for individuals who acknowledge that they need extra assistance but are hesitant about transitioning to an assisted living facility. Understandably, a lot of people don't like that loss of independence. Looking into foster care offers them a residence on a smaller scale. All of their needs would be attended to. Be it laundry, they'd have their meals, room, obviously. The provider would assist with doctor appointments, medication, transportation. It's a really good thing to consider.
Okay, great. And we have put a number up on the screen too for that. If you're interested in becoming a provider, if you're interested in learning more about adult foster care, call that number, and they will hook you up with somebody who can answer your questions for you. But a great service for the community, and a great way to acknowledge May as being Elder Abuse Prevention Month, and just making sure we take care of those in our community who have lived a long time and given a lot. And thank you, Ben, for sharing your experience and your wisdom.
Thank you.
Well, we'll be back in a minute with a story of 14 men who want to be better fathers and how they're really doing something about it. You won't want to miss it.
Yes, I am.
Give it to them hard.
No.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Why you stab me with it? No.
They want to help,
Ow.
but don't know how. Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
Self-esteem, finance, employment, child development. These are just some of the things that Norfolk Human Services is working on with dads who just want to be better dads. TV 48's John Linka explains.
It was a celebration of Norfolk's fathers coming together to support each other and bettering themselves and their relationship with their children.
This was the first official group. We had a pilot group back in the fall, and that wrapped up in October. We sort of tweaked everything and started in January, and this latest one lasted 13 weeks.
The Norfolk Fatherhood Development Group originated with the Norfolk Department of Human Services, utilizing Dr. Jefferson Johnson's fatherhood development curriculum and training. Dr. Johnson is considered one of the nation's leading voices for responsible fatherhood.
The class focuses on a lot of basic parental skills, which is very important because it's a foundation to actually being a father.
Building your child's self-esteem. There's an employment piece, an education piece. We touch on a lot of different things that enable the dads to help enjoy enriched relationships with their children.
And what's very unique about it is you see men of all different lifestyles that have been raised by with different morals and different values that were way different from myself, and then just seeing some of the things that these individuals have been able to go through on a personal level, but still come out, you know, in a position to where they're ready and able and willing to step up and be a father is just absolutely amazing. And so that really gave me a lot of hope as for the state of fatherhood, not just in Virginia, but in the United States as well.
Referrals for the weekly group meetings came from the Division of Child Support Enforcement, Norfolk Human Services, Norfolk Probation and Parole, and self-referrals from the community.
In the beginning, there was quite a bit of resistance. There was a lot of something going around, like they didn't necessarily want to be here, but I can comfortably say that that has changed, especially these last few weeks. We can see it and we can sense it. The willingness to participate.
These graduates took home more than just their certificates.
It has really opened my eyes to, again, the diversity of parenting that is out here. It's allowed me to really just kind of step back and look at my children. You know, I've looked at them as individuals, but now it allows me to look at them, you know, from an individual standpoint of that's a little man in there that's trying to come out. That's a little woman in there for my daughter that's trying to come out. And I need to nurture and cultivate what's going on. Even the issues that they deal with as teenagers, I need to nurture and cultivate those issues and really come at them from a point of understanding.
Which their children greatly appreciate.
Because of the class he took, I felt like he's been able to understand me a little bit better than I felt before. And because of that class, I feel like we'll be able to strengthen our relationship.
The fathers receive a certificate of participation for each phase completed and a certificate of completion once they've finished the entire 13 weeks. The next fatherhood development group is tentatively scheduled for the summer. To learn more, go to norfolk.gov/human services, or you can call 664-7721. And thank you very much for joining us this time. We'll see you again next time. Bye.